so long ago, but we started last time just after we had gotten out of the Shadowfell, and we're still by that manor. We pretty quickly left, went back through Anderlark, and then came to Duras.
And did some shopping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finally got rid of all the junk in our pockets.
Yeah. I think that was the biggest thing. Like, we cleared out junk, and I think we bought the guy out of healing potions. Well, it was Pip's Picks. That was the name of the place.
Yeah. Picks. Yep. We told him we thought M&Ms were too sweet. He was very happy to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
We went to the Hallberg's place, the armory place, and he's building or fixing some armor for me to be halfling size. So I can get some studded leather.
Mm-hmm.
And then also designing a pattern for Rita's armor, I think.
Yeah, one of the things that I picked up was a breastplate, a +1 magic breastplate, from M&M's. Not M&M's, sorry, Pip's Picks.
Ooh.
Yes.
Rival.
And I also get a longsword. The longsword isn't magic or anything, but it is very fancy. It has sort of like a snake hilt, and so I left my breastplate with the can I even remember
Sunbursts.
Yeah, Sunbursts.
Sunbursts. Okay. I left it to get sort of made nice to match the longsword.
Yeah, and then we went to that place.
The crossed hammers.
Yes, for the side quest from Galana. Deliver a quarterstaff to a guy named Here. Black hair, blue eyes, priest at the Crossed Hammers Inn at noon. And the servers were very elven and posh, and we were very not. I think Tarvik got a little bit of a racism towards him.
I don't even think Tarvik cared about it, honestly. But he might have. Yeah.
And then I think we left off and we just saw someone walk in that looked like Here or something like that, or
you were still waiting.
It was
for
right
him.
around me. Okay, so we're still waiting for Here.
Still waiting for him.
Yep.
I'm going to add a couple things. When you were traveling, you found the dead bodies of the weak bandits that you had encountered in the Miriam Vale. We skimmed past it, but you encountered another Bodak that I just assumed that you guys would kill because you killed the last one. And we want to speed it up because we're finally in Duras, thank God. Let's see. Rieta, a little RP moment, ordered a specific dish, and she got like a fake version of it, so she didn't actually get the thing. And there's one more item here, I think. Well, that might be it. All right, so you guys are in the Crossed Hammers right now, and you are waiting for Here. So let's go to the map. It is around noontime. You guys have been eating and drinking a little bit as you wait. As you had spoken to the bartender, there appears to be a gentleman who you described that's, fits that description, that comes here every day, basically just gets water at this, a little bit nicer than usual establishment, and just kind of waits there and then leaves, to the dismay of the bartender. And so, you guys continue waiting, and as time goes on, you just kind of take in these surroundings. And like, I think I did describe this before, but it's a fairly mixed city when you guys were walking through it, but this place in particular has a little bit less of that mix. So you're seeing more humans, elves, and like a smattering of a few other of the races, but more or less this seems like an elven/human frequented place. Everyone seems to be dressed relatively nicely, though not like extremely, not like super fancy ball gown esque. But you do stand out because you're in adventurer's gear. Everyone kind of takes a look at you from here and there, but they don't linger too long and they get back to their normal conversations. Tarvik, you with your passive perception as you're waiting hear some talk here and there, and nothing too specific, about missing persons in the city and how much of a worry it is for some of the people, but then the replies are during the conversation that, we have the guards outside, we have the new what's the word I'm thinking of? Curfew. There's a curfew in place. People are asked not to wander around in the dark outside of the city, and to report anything that they see as like ominous or death-like looking. So you kind of hear that. You also hear that the city guard seems to have increased their patrol, but the people who are talking are saying that, they wish there were more, and that at least they're happy that they live in the nice area where it gets patrolled better. So you're getting a little bit of the vibes of how this place is like delineating their security, essentially. You continue waiting, and the gentleman that was described to you guys, there seems to be a lone gentleman who kind of looks out of place. He's wearing leather armor, though it appears to be very dirty and kind of old looking. He has very simple clothes on, and he kind of has like dirt smeared on his face a little bit, and it seems like he's injured. It appears like some kind of scratch mark or claw mark raked against the side of his face. Still looks a little fresh. He seems to have some bruises. You can see a little bit on his arms. He approaches tentatively to the bartender, and even from this distance you can feel the disdain and snottiness from the bartender, as the gentleman just kind of like waits, trying to slink into a corner and try to be unnoticeable as he just kind of peers around, lingers a little bit on you guys, and then moves his gaze around and just kind of sits, takes his water that is given to him, and just kind of like stares at the bar.
Does he have black hair and blue eyes?
Yes, described as was given to you, the description from Galana.
Let's go check it out. Who wants to lead the conversation? Who has the staff, I guess?
I have the staff. It's currently like my sheath with my longbow, but I think I have it wrapped up again for travel.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I'll pull it out. I will take the wrap staff out of my sheath and have it in my hands. You go talk to him?
Yeah.
Who's going up to him? Is it Roland? Just Roland?
I'll go. Yeah, I was supposed to say, I feel like I'll go too.
Make it a whole party trip.
Let's do a party trip.
Alright, so all of you stand up. You see that everyone kind of takes a glance at you as you stand up, but then they just go back to their conversations.
Mm-hmm.
You make your way over. Who is leading the party?
I guess Roland with the staff.
Yeah, I can lead.
Okay.
Hail, friend.
Roland, and actually Tarvik, no matter what, because your perception is high enough. You guys saw that he was like kind of staring at the bar, but as you approach Roland and Tarvik, you kind of hear right before he stops that he was just muttering a prayer. It seemed he was speaking common, and it seems like he was praying for the safety of the people. And you heard a whisper about my sister, and then he kind of looks up as you approach, as you say hail. Hello. Can I help you?
We are friends of Galana, and we were sent here to find someone.
You
Did you
see
meet him?
you see an immediate sign of relief in his eyes. He's less apprehensive now and more just relief. Oh, good. Thank you so much. Do you have the staff?
Yes, we do, and I will give it to him.
He just reaches out. Seems like he's been waiting for this for a while. He says, "Oh my goodness, thank you so much. I don't know how much you've heard from Galana, but things have been very rough here. This will help greatly. Thank you. May I buy you drink, food? Have you eaten?"
We have. Will you tell us what's been going on? Honest didn't tell us much, but perhaps you could and fill in the gaps.
You see gliding over the bartender, who interjects and says, "Excuse me, but if there's no business for you here at the bar, we would like to save this area for patrons. If you have your own table," and he kind of passive aggressively motions you back to your table.
Would you like to join us at our table?
Oh, he kind of looks at himself like he's a little bit embarrassed about his plainness. Oh, I don't want to intrude.
The table at a bar. Come sit with us, friend. Come.
Oh, okay. He seems a little hesitant, but you kind of guide him in, and he seems to follow. He seems very abashed, and you see the peering, almost sneering peer of the bartender, who's just whatever, and just kind of goes back. So you guys guide here over, and he says, thank you very much. I can't stay very long. I need to go back out there, but I'm sorry, you wanted to hear about what is happening? You don't know?
Don't know.
Just
tell
arrived,
us, please.
He looks at all of you just kind of wow, these people don't really know. And he just kind of goes into, the city's been under some kind of siege by these dark, I don't know, these creatures that seem to just kill anyone that it sees, and the patrol has been increased, guards are outside, but my sister's out there. I need to find her, and this will help me save her maybe, and save any others who are traveling who end up in this area, and I need the money, God knows. But you need to be careful. You are travelers?
Yes.
Yes.
Please be careful. I don't know if you're going back to Galana, but if you're traveling that way, please tell her thank you, and tell her that if she can spare any other of her items, it would be most grateful.
Mm-hmm.
We will next time we see her.
You see he's wringing his hands, very uncomfortable, and seems not only impatient but just worried. He just is wringing his hands as he's talking to you guys.
Mm-hmm.
You say your sister is out there. You mean beyond the city walls or somewhere in the city?
I don't know. I'm searching for her. She was one of the missing persons. She got taken somehow, and I'm looking for her. And you can see his ringing is becoming a little bit more intense. You can see he just seems very not distraught, but getting there as he's talking about his sister. And he continues on. He says, all these missing people, I don't know what's going on, but these creatures have to be related somehow. She's smart, though. She's strong. She must have gotten away somewhere. I know it. And if I can help her, if I can find her, and I can help anybody along the way, that's all I can do. Praise God. And he kind of does a little motion, seemingly similar that you've seen with Galana, so appearing to be the same faith.
First things first, I want you to take a deep breath. Calm down.
Thank you.
Yes.
I needed that a little bit.
Yeah.
You can see he's lessened with his hands.
But if you say what you think is true, then your sister would be with others who have been taken. Yes?
I don't know. Maybe.
Hmm.
She's a fighter, though, so maybe she got out. Maybe she's trying to help. Maybe she's... And you can see he's kind of like wistfully looking beyond you guys and towards the crowd. Maybe she's leading a rebellion. Maybe she's gathering all the people and trying to help save them. She's good like that. She would. She wouldn't just save herself. She would save everyone. And I need to save her.
Would you feel better if you knew where she was?
Well, do you know where she is? How
No.
could you know?
No, but we could easily find out, possibly with your help.
Attempt to
how can I
spy on
help?
her.
Oh, you can. Okay. What do you need from me?
If I am familiar with the ritual, it works best with those who are closest with the individual. And also...
I'm her blood. How much closer can you get?
Exactly. If you have any personal items that belong to her, or hair, or
You
anything like that.
Yeah, you can see he looks a little crestfallen as you list those things, and he just silently shakes his head while looking at you.
We can still try, though.
The best way is first-hand knowledge. Do you have magic? Can you use a scrying mirror?
Well, I don't. I'm useless. This is why I have the staff. Glana knows that I could use this, and so she sent you here to give this to me. She reached out.
I believe you're useless. If you describe your sister to us, we could attempt to scry.
Well, she looks just like me. Well,
Her name?
prettier. And you can see he kind of like has a small little lightened smirk, but then goes back to kind of being worried.
Do you happen to have... You don't have a picture of her or anything like that either?
He shakes his head.
Okay. We can probably attempt it with that. Would you like to do it?
No, Tarvik can do it if he wants. I'll hand him the mirror. What's her name?
Her name is Hera.
Hera.
It's spelled Herah.
If you wouldn't mind, Roland, would you actually mind doing it?
I can do it. Yeah, sure. I will use the the scrying mirror. I'm just gonna send it to the chat. It takes 10 minutes, so we're going to sit at the table for 10 minutes to do this.
Are you doing this through the mirror?
Can't do it otherwise.
Not yet. Yeah,
Oh, sorry, is the mirror different? Does it not take 10 minutes?
Correct. The mirror is instantaneous.
Okay.
Hey, never mind. Go on me. Sorry, it's concentration up to 10 minutes. I can look at her for 10 minutes through the mirror. Sorry. Okay, so this is secondhand knowledge.
You have heard of the target. Yes. Yep, so that's +5 on my roll. What did I say was the DC for that one? I think it's there. Is it 14 or 16? Something like that? 15?
I think it's just a save DC. Like, it would be Roland's save DC.
No, I put a special...
Something special.
Oh, you put a special
I wrote it down somewhere
Let me
because
see.
we were... Because you
it's
told
in
me to when you first gave it to me.
Is it in the items? Concentration.
Oh, I wrote it down. DC 16 for this.
Oh, DC 16. Okay.
We probably should put that in the item.
Yeah, I'm gonna add that in the item right now. So that we don't have to do this again. DC 16. Cool. Okay. Okay, Roland, as you look into the mirror, you are used to seeing like clouds, almost cloud-like vapors kind of like wisping you towards an area of the target. unfortunately, as you look, you see like this cloudy like substance, but it appears to be confused almost. If clouds could be, the vapors are like trying to grab onto something, but it's not holding on. You don't see anything through the mirror.
I'm so sorry, friend. Unfortunately, them was not with us today. I could try again at some point, but apologies.
So you see him just kind of like nodding as he closes his eyes and seems to take it in stride. Tarvik, with your passive perception, you know that he had a lot of hopes, and he's like showing face that, you know, he's kind of resigned to accept this, but it seems like he's saddened by this, as he just kind of says, thank you all very much. This alone will be very beneficial in my endeavors, so I apologize for taking your time and interjecting my sad story in your jovial feast, and I want to say thank you. I know the trek here must have been tiresome, and if you see Galana again, please thank her for me as well, as I continue on my search. I wish you all the very best. Please be safe. If you need money, do what I'm doing. It pays well. And the best of luck.
Friend, do you have any information for us on these creatures? These dark creatures? Anything at all?
Just stay away. They're evil. They're darkness. They're death. You don't want to go near them. As he kind of like solemnly says that as he kind of looks at you guys.
Rieta, did you draw the monster that we encountered in your bestiary book?
Yeah, I think I did.
Can you?
Yeah, I'll
match the
pull out
description?
my little note and and show it to him. Give me like a quick second here to mock up what this looks like.
We also named it something, and I can't remember what that was.
Oh, that's right. You guys did name it.
Named it Gloomer.
Oh, that's right. That's a good name.
Mm-hmm.
If that's not a D&D creature, it should be. Gloomer.
Yeah.
Oh, it reminds me of the Pokemon Gloom.
Yep. I just thought of that too.
So you mock it up for him, Rieta?
It's already in there. I'm just prepping for you guys what it looks like.
Oh,
so
love
everyone
it.
can see. Yeah.
You kind of like point it out, and he takes like a very quick look and just immediately starts nodding and says, yes, those creatures. You've seen one. You've encountered one already.
Managed to fell too.
Yeah.
Not invincible, though evil is definitely apt.
Dangerous they are. You must be strong. And though you may be strong, do not let it make you complacent. These creatures, they're not like one another. Each one is a little different.
Is anyone hunting them? Oh, sorry.
I am. Anyone strong enough, there's good coin in it. The shield, they're advertising. Anyone willing and able to. Roland, you know that the shield is one of the houses of, like, one of the powerhouses, and by powerhouses, like, the shield governs basically safety, security, army, guard, essentially. All that realm is under the shield house, and there are 4 houses, 3 official ones and 1 unofficial one. And Roland, you would know this living in the city your entire life. Shield House is also known as the first house, being the closest to the king. The second house is the coin house, and they deal with like commerce, business, trade. The third house is the white house, which is law and information. There's 5 houses, 1 unofficial. The 4th house is the grain house, which deals with development and general infrastructure. And then the 5th unofficial house is the shadow house. And Roland, roll a history check for me. Just to see if you know who is in the shadow house.
History.
Yeah.
3.
You know that the shadow house, though not everyone knows their name, the group of the shadow house is called Tempest. It is the criminal guild of this city, and obviously they operate in the shadows. And when the time comes, when there's great danger to this city, they are leaned upon as the 5th house, as they have, as you can imagine, for a criminal syndicate, they have their ways and they have their powers in their own unique way, in addition to the other official 4 houses. So in great times of need, they are recognized as an actual house, and those who have the power recognize it as well. So even though they kind of ignore them to the day-to-day, they know they exist, and they know that they need to be welcomed into, quote-unquote, the inner circle during crises and such. And so with that history roll, you're familiar with the 5th house as well. So
they all
when
my friends.
Yeah, and when he says shield house, you know that he's talking about the 1st house. So here continues on and says, yes, shield is advertising to anyone willing and able, strong enough to defeat these creatures, and you get paid for it. I need to sustain myself some way as I search for my sister, so I find that I can help people. And this staff, he kind of holds it and emphasizes, will help me do that in my journey to find my sister.
Indeed. Put to good use, friend.
Thank you very much. And he looks towards each of you and outstretches his hands to thank and shake with both of his hands as he kind of looks all of you in the eyes, very heartfelt and sincere. Thank you. I must rest before my next shift. And he seems to be ready to leave.
Be safe.
And you. And he goes off.
I look at the group and I say, I think I need to go visit my parents, knowing that there's danger in the city.
Yeah. Makes sense. Make sure everyone's okay. We can go there.
I don't mind. We can, of course, do other things on our list too, but just to make sure they're safe.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, the picture's in the Discord. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, I want to see it.
What a gorgeous night it is.
Oh my gosh, I love this. Thank you so much, Rieta.
I bet you wouldn't even believe that I used a mouse to draw that.
No, not at all. This is glorious. Perfect. I'm so happy. Alright, so you guys head to Roland's house? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
As we're leaving the Crosshammers, is there anyone that's seems to be heading in?
Yeah. There's a couple that comes in.
I go ahead and just sort of stop them as they're coming in. I'm just gonna say hey, I just want to give you a warning. This place doesn't have real black pudding. Kind of cheap. Just a heads up.
Oh, well, my darling, black pudding is exquisitely expensive. You wouldn't find it here.
Oh no.
Oh, is it? Rieta, you got fancy taste.
You see that she after that statement, she just kind of walks off and goes to the bartender and they seem to have a normal interaction. It seems like she's come here before with her partner, so they just get seated and whatnot. Anything else as you guys travel to the Liadon residence, which here on the map is this way.
As we walk, what do you all think of potentially, helping to defend this city? It's not your all's home, but I would like to help the people that live here. Can rid it of some evil.
We can certainly try, though I have a feeling we can't do this alone by any means.
Yeah, we could see if the Shield House has more information on it. I don't want to get too distracted from the Eye Quest, and this seems like a really large undertaking if it's attacking an entire city like this. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see if your parents have any more information.
Alright, so as you guys discuss this on your way, you notice that and Roland, you're used to this, but the Hydra District is where more or less the wealthier people live, and this is more like upper middle class. You know that the truly wealthy live around the royal house in the center of the city, but for those that, again, are a little bit more wealthy but not like super wealthy, they live in the Hydra's district, which is a little bit better than the other districts. A little bit more posh, if you will, but not too crazy. And so you guys are walking around. The streets are very nice. They're cobbled very well. You don't see any like horse shit anywhere. It doesn't smell nasty. There aren't beggars around in the streets. Everything looks more or less well lit, and there aren't any like shady areas or alleys. So there are alleys and stuff, but they are beautiful. There seems to be potted plants everywhere and flowers and such. A very well kept area. And it seems like there are lots of residences in this area as you make your way around. Nothing too ostentatious, but well kept, and they look nice. As you approach Liadon's place, you notice that the front of the door, I don't know what you call it, Guys, I told you I was super tired. My brain is dead right now. I'm not thinking of the word. Yeah. The door frame. Dear God. So straightforward. The door frame is like has this very intricate carving into the wood itself, and it's beautiful. It's like vines and flowers. You even see like little fairies, it appears. Though one could miss it if you weren't going directly to the door, because it is engraved into the wood itself. But you guys approach, Roland. This is your lovely home. As you approach the door, you know that your father did this to the door for your mother as a surprise for one of their wedding anniversaries, because she loves nature and she loves all this like movement and flow, and so your father dedicated a foolhardy night to do this, so that in the morning your mother would be surprised by it.
Oh, that's cute.
Yes. Oh, I'll tell them that. I'll tell them. I'm sure I've been talking nonstop about the house, but I make sure to tell them. Mm-hmm. I'll go to the door and knock and
okay.
Touch the carvings as I wait.
Mm-hmm. You go ahead and knock. Oh, sorry. Hold on, give me one second.
That was appropriate.
You're good.
You didn't tell us you had dogs.
Yeah.
I don't know what's coming, you guys. I really don't. No worries.
No worries.
No.
Anyway, you guys knock on the door, and you hear kind of like a gruff older gentleman who says, Hold on a minute. You hear footsteps, do, 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 and you see the door open. You see in front of you a relatively tall, elven, handsomely man. He looks to be a little bit older, maybe like in his early 40s, but he still has a very young face, and his eyes look extremely sharp and intelligent. They are like a very bright blue. His chin and jaw is chiseled. He seems very fit and very lean as he stands with very good posture as he swings open the door and looks at you with like a very kind of intelligent air about him as he just kind of stands at you, clasps his hands together. Ah, Roland. You've come home, I see. Well, and you've brought guests. Please, all of you, come in. As he motions aside and lets you in.
My father.
My son.
Hello, father. Well met.
Well met.
Thank you.
Please make yourself at home. He talks to the rest of you guys. Roland, your mother would love to see you.
Of course, yes. My friends, this is Cassandra, Rieta, and Tarvik. This is my father. Roland is not starring this much.
How do you do? My name is Kyrian Liadon. He reaches out his hand to shake each of yours, and it's a very like 2 pump, and that's it kind of handshake as he moves on to each and every one of you.
His mother in her room.
Pleasure to meet you.
She's in her studio. Please, she would love to see you after such a long time. And the rest of you, may I? And he seems to like try and get some of like the armor and shit that you guys have, like your backpacks, to kind of like motion off to this corner and says, please, if you will, I can help you with this. He seems a little bit like not used to this with like all this weapons and stuff, but he assists you guys in like trying to get comfortable and putting this to the side. And please do take off your shoes.
This is real fancy.
As you guys...
I'll get comfy and all that.
Alright, so you guys takes the backpack and stuff off. And does anyone not take off their shoes or their things?
I'm taking off all of my things.
Okay.
I would imagine that like there's definitely a little bit of a hesitation around like leaving his great axe, but that's it.
Mm-hmm. So everyone complies?
I'll keep my gold on me, but
yeah. He doesn't blink at that.
Yeah.
Alright, good. So he waits for a little bit as you guys are doing this. He closes the door, locks up, and he says, please, I can make some refreshments for all of you. Tea, coffee, perhaps? And he just kind of like motions you guys in. You guys see, just to describe where you've come in. You've come into like a little foyer area, and there appears to be a staircase immediately that goes up. And you're not quite sure, but there appears to be at least a second level, though from the outside you know that there's a third. You see that off to the left there appears to be like a living room area, and then off to the right there appears to be a dining room area, and then what appears to be another room behind for a kitchen. The hallway appears to be going into some other rooms, though those doors are closed. Roland, you know that your mother's studio is on the 3rd floor of the house, and you know that it's a very large studio, so it's basically like half of the 3rd floor. You of course know the layout, so the hallway that connects forward goes into like a little washroom area as well as a closet, and just a small like ante room that's like just a sitting room that peers outside into like a very little courtyard-ish backyard area that you guys have that has like flowers and like a little water fountain statue that is shared amongst your other neighbors. And then the second floor has the rooms for you, your sister, and a guest room, as well as another washroom. And then the third floor is your mother and father's room, a very small, like, I guess like a utility room, and then that huge studio room for your mother that paints.
Would you all like to come with me, come see my mother's studio? I'm gonna lead everyone upstairs to the third room and third floor and knock on her studio door.
Okay, you hear before, as you get like a few steps in, you hear, Roland, your guests would not like refreshments?
Oh, I had 2 ales earlier.
We just came from the Crossed Hammers, but thank you.
Thank you, Father.
Very well. He just seems to walk back into the kitchen. As you guys approach and you continue up the stairs, anything, Roland, you want to add to your house and the vibes here and talking to your group?
It's probably very colorful, very artsy, lots of framed paintings and sculptures and things of that nature. Strange things too. Furniture that's painted, just like weird stuff, like just very fantastical and unusual kind of a thing. Probably especially as we get to like probably some like special pieces in the lower area that are meant for guests to see that guests might buy, but probably weirder stuff as you get more into like the private areas. But also it's like it's lived in, it's used, it's not terribly uncomfortable by any means, but still an elven home. But yeah, I lead them up to the studio doors and I'll knock rapidly.
You knock rapidly, which I'm not gonna simulate because my dog's gonna go crazy. But you knock rapidly, and you hear in a very lovely voice, "Come in."
Mother?
Oh, darling! And you see her just kind of like twirl around at your voice with her arms outstretched open. You see that she was working on a very larger painting, and you see she has like paint kind of smattered across her chin, a little bit on her arms, and definitely her fingertips. You can see that she's just kind of like smattered about, even though she kind of like has this painter vibes, painter look about her, you can see like her physical self is like immaculate. So like her hair is like precisely done and it's beautiful, and you can see her like makeup is very on point. Her outfit as well is, though it's spattered in paint, it's actually relatively nice. It's like I don't know, think like upper middle class housewife going out shopping with her friends, but like a little bit smattered with paint and back in the 18th century, whatever. But she kind of like twirls around and she opens up her hands and says, "Oh, darling, my Roro, come here." Outstretched hands for a hug.
I will hug her. I'm happy to see her.
And you know that she's always covered in paint, and so most of the time you get paint if you're gonna be in physical touch with her. So she gives you a hug. You're very used to this. As she kind of takes you a step away from her, and she clasps her hands around your cheeks and says, "Oh, Roro, how have you been, my lovely boy?"
I am well, Mother. Thank you.
Gives you like
you to me.
Gives you a kiss on the forehead, gives you a kiss on the left cheek, gives you a kiss on the right cheek, and then just like beams at you and just takes you in for a few long seconds, a little bit longer than what would be comfortable, and is just smiling at you with her very bright and warm eyes. And then she immediately turns to look as soon as you say that to your guests, and she says, "Why, hello."
Friends, this is the artist Laura Liadon. This
Pleased
is Cassandra,
to meet you all.
Rieta,
and she kind of bows.
Tarvik.
I'm a fan of your work.
She curtsies. Excuse me. She says, "Oh, what works have you seen?"
Well, the stuff in the house here and
Oh,
something
thank you
over
so much. Which one's your favorite?
one with Governess Seagarden had.
Oh, well, she has an interesting one, yes.
Yeah, that was so. It just really drew us in.
Yes, that field is so beautiful. But everything is. Well, did you have something to eat? Did Father prepare you something? Refreshments? Tea, perhaps? Some biscuits?
He offered, yes. Mother, is all well in the city?
Oh, well, all that is... that can be, I suppose. You know me, I'm painting, I'm painting, and she kind of giggles, and she says, well, we're safe here, thankfully. And, well, we don't venture outside of the walls, so I've heard there is some shenanigans happening, but all is well, dear. And for you. And she looks a little concerned, and she kind of, like, does, like, a little smudge against your cheek. Are you okay? Have you been eating? Oh, dear.
Yes, I've been eating. Mother, I started to hear a voice in my head.
Oh, don't we all sometimes? And she just kind of, like, giggles a little bit.
Robert gets very confused by that.
Yeah, I also look confused. Probably like, should I have a voice in my head?
I feel like we probably look at each other briefly and just like have that look of like, no, okay, no, it's not us.
That's hilarious.
Mother,
My
do you know of a goat man?
A goat man? Should I?
I want to like describe her one of my dreams of the goat man with the colors and the of the face, and
as you describe it, she just kind of interrupts and says, "Oh, Roland, my dear boy. Oh, such creativity in that head. Oh my. Now, I tell you, you should stop being this wizard thing and you should become an artist like me. You can paint this beautiful goat man that you see and these wonderful wooded area that you're describing. Oh, you would be miraculous, dear."
you know I'd be terrible. I'd be very terrible,
You
Mother.
would not. Please, Roro, my dear, you mustn't say that about yourself. I have my full confidence in that you have the ability just like me.
Good to see you, Mother.
Oh, always wonderful to see you, my dear. Now, please, we mustn't all stand around unless you would like to do some painting yourselves. And she kind of like gestures with her hand towards her paintings. Else, you must relax. You must be tired and weary. Please, please, come downstairs to our lounge. You must just have some tea. I know you said that you had some things earlier, but please, what kind of hostess would I be had I not offered any of this? Please, come. And she kind of like enthusiastically gestures you guys towards the downstairs area.
Okay.
We'll follow. Yeah.
Okay. She takes you down to the first level and goes to the kitchen as she like sits you guys down in the living area that's right off of the foyer.
I'm gonna whisper to Roland, maybe talk about that place where in the painting that you saw him, the fields or whatever.
That's what I described, right, DM? I described the image of the
and,
painting.
and she cuts you off.
Oh, interesting.
You hear humming in the kitchen, and you also hear a very quiet but like low hum that seems to be coming from Roland's father. Just like being around that personality, he seems to kind of get like sucked into it and seems to hum along with her. But you hear her humming like, and it kind of grows stronger as she comes back to the living room area where you guys sitting in the lounge, and presents an assortment of like refreshment type of things. So like biscuits, cookies, crackers, cheeses, like breads, and then she also has some tea assortment. She has a little bit of coffee, and she also has some wine as well.
DM, do I know, would my parents, like, do they want to be hosts and, like, they would be, like, offended if, like, we didn't stay here kind of a thing? Or would, like, we be imposing if we suggested that?
Mm-hmm. Your mother would insist on it, absolutely, and she would make you by just hugging you. And your father would insist politely, but would not hold it against you should you go elsewhere. He's more of, like, not standoffish, but he's more just kind of like there and polite and follows rules and is very intelligent about various things, but he's not vivacious like your mother. So he would just like let you go had you said that you needed to go.
I meant more like overnight. Like, can we like, sleep here?
No, exactly.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
And I assume we'll make like some chit chat and get caught up over like certain things.
Mm-hmm.
But
what do you talk about? She first and foremost wants to hear everything that's happened. So she prompts with that question, like, "Darling, what have you been up to? And your friends? Oh, you guys. Oh, look at those equipment items." And she kind of like points off to the area where you guys like threw down all your armor and like your weapons and shit. It's just like, oh, please tell me you've been safe though.
Oh no.
You have not. Oh, Roro.
He died.
We went
recently.
to the Shadowfell. He was
I'm
very
sorry.
heroic.
Excuse me, sir. What did you say?
Oh, he died recently.
Roro? And she
It's not the
looks
first
at
time.
you. Is this true?
It was the first time I was around for sure.
It was only a temporary death.
He's a
His
very
heart definitely
powerful
stopped.
wizard.
Mr. Liadon, we must discuss this in private. And she, like, whisks you away, essentially, to, like, the anteroom, kind of like sitting room. And she, like, goes into you. She's like... And she's like a little stammery, just because she's like just completely in shock by this news. But she's like, "What have you done? You can't be with these people anymore. You have to stay home. You cannot go out."
It's not going to happen, Mother. Oh.
Roland, my dear, that person said you died twice. What is this? What is the meaning of this?
Twice. I did not die twice.
Well, they
Died
clearly
once.
think that you... Oh, yes, and once is better? 0 is better, my dear. What have you been doing?
I need your support in this,
You
Mother.
need my
Like,
support in your life. I did not go through 13 hours of labor to have you die somewhere outside where I wasn't there to support you, my dear. And she just, like, starts sobbing a little bit. Oh... I knew this was dangerous. I knew this was dangerous for you. You need to be an artist. You cannot be a wizard. This is... Oh, I know you... You're so intelligent. You have such a wonderful... Yes, my dear.
The last 7 months of my life have been the happiest I've ever been.
She, like, resigns herself a little bit. You can see she's calming down a little bit. And that seems to have struck a chord with her. Well... All I can wish is that you're happy. And you're here, alive. Yeah. How did that happen?
Can you tell me, Mother? I mean, it was the goat man. He's speaking to me.
Roland, I don't know of any goat man. And if he's speaking to you, we must go to some sage. Perhaps he can help, or someone from... someone from somewhere. This doesn't seem right. But I'm so glad you're alive. And she just kind of pulls you in and hugs you very, very tight.
He started speaking to me after
my
one
dear,
of your paintings.
my dear. Oh, this
It's a
must
real
be some
place.
side effect. Oh, death can be so brutal. I hope it wasn't brutal for you, my dear. But you're alive, you're here with me, and she just seems to hug you even tighter. Shh, my
Glad to be
dear.
home.
I'm glad you're here. I'm sorry. And she kind of pushes you away from her, her hands on your shoulders. She takes a deep exhale and seems to compose herself and says, my apologies for whisking you away like that. I am baffled that you were dead. Elves don't really die, you know, for a very long time. And you, my dear Roro, are still very young. Please try not to die again.
I'll do my very best, Mother. Promise.
Just pulls you in for another hug and says, please come. Oh, I've been a terrible hostess. And she, like, walks with you side and side. And she says, oh, my apologies to all of you for that atrocious behavior. I have composed myself, and I apologize. In the meantime, before she comes back, what were you guys doing? You definitely heard all of this.
Tarvik, you got her in trouble.
Would you like me? Should I be lying to parents about the near death of their?
The bad news. Start with the good news. Get him in a happier
Would you
mood.
prefer if I told the story about how I found him in the temple? I could start with that one next time.
How about something good Roland has done? How he has saved our lives. He slayed that monster in the Shadowfell.
Mm-hmm.
We could tell her about the owl, like the baby owl bears.
Yeah.
The one. You mean the ones that he almost burned to death?
Yeah, those ones. You saved us from those baby owl bears.
Maybe not the mysteries he's solved.
I think maybe the best
Dad's
option
listening to all
is.
this.
Yeah, I was about to say I went pretty general, but maybe it's best if we just do not talk of Roland's accomplishments at all out of safety, and you can pick and choose the parts to say best, Cassandra.
Alright, we'll do that for
Mr. Liadon is sitting the farthest away from all of you guys, as you've been kind of discussing. And with your passive, Tarvik, you see that he's listening in, though he's making it seem like he's not. But he's understanding everything that you're saying and like all the nuances beneath it. He's like catching on to some of it. But he visibly does not change his face. You can just see his eyes thinking everything that you're saying out. It seems like he's a very intelligent man, but he's very composed outwardly. Okay, so Roland's mom comes in with Roland, and she apologizes. Now, to the rest of your adventures, lovely dears.
buddy.
We just tell her, like, kind of just
Yeah.
like tell her the
We
story.
trained with Ilaria.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Ilaria passed away. We did the mysteries of the vault. How are we telling her the eye stuff or no?
We say that out loud to ask each other.
I was going to say, I don't think we should tell her the eye stuff for sure. If we're not telling all Roland stories, I feel like the eye stuff goes like above that in my mind. So,
All right. How about how we slayed the gloomers on the way here and noticed there was some trouble that we might be able to help out with?
Mother, have you heard anything about the monsters attacking people? We heard that there were people missing.
Oh, maybe. You know, that kind of stuff doesn't really hold true in my mind. Dear, have you heard of such things? I think I've heard musings about it here and there. And you see her kind of like rub her forehead a little bit. And Kyrian, Roland's dad, just kind of pipes in. Again, very, like, sitting very tall. Basically no facial expression, just kind of like hands lightly clasped in his lap. And he says, Yes. There have been reportings of missing persons, and happenings of assault outside of the city wall. However, we are safe here, and we shall be safe here. Please, if you find yourselves in need of respite, of course, our home is for you to take shelter in.
Okay.
Well, there you have it, my dear. Seems like we're safe here.
Okay.
We're going to go and see if we can help, and go out and see if we can't kill them and find the missing people.
And this makes you happy? And you see her, apprehensive look. It says, okay. Well, all I can ask is that you try and keep yourself safe. My dear, you should be an artist. That's it. I won't say any more. And she kind of she wanted to say her piece one more time, and then she has that hostess look again, where she's like, please, would you like anything else? You must be tired from traveling with everything that you've mentioned.
I'm just been munching on the cookies.
Still wanted to go visit the weaponsmith, right, Tarvik?
Yeah, I think that would be good. I think if we have time, maybe go to the library for a little bit.
Yeah.
Library's outside the city walls, just FYI. The Herald's hold fast.
Oh, okay.
What about the Raven Queen Temple?
I'm not sure where the Raven's Temple is. Do I know where the Raven Queen's Temple is?
You do not.
Oh.
Although, do you know where the temple to the Raven Queen is?
And all this time, she's been lightly humming and just kind of looking up at the corners of the walls and kind of skimming her eyes around the paintings. Tarvik, you notice this with your passive, and all of you hear her humming, as she's just kind of off in the distance humming. And you ask her that question, and it kind of snaps her back. She says, "Oh, a temple. I don't believe so, my dear. I apologize."
Is there a place where temples generally are, like a
Oh, there are
section
many
of the city?
temples here. Take your pick.
Okay, so they're spread throughout the city?
And she kind of nods as she's humming, and her eyes kind of go back to the paintings, and then she kind of looks outside the window a little bit.
I recognize the song.
Yeah, you know this is a very typical behavior of her mom. This is not meant to be impolite at all. Her mind just sometimes checks out a little bit as she's thinking about her paintings and stuff, and she kind of either hums or she kind of zones out and she takes a look outside windows or old paintings or just even basic things in your house like the rug or something. She would just be fascinated and just take a look at it. She seems to be getting some kind of inspiration, but this is very typical of her.
Do you ever put magic into your paintings?
Oh, magic? No.
Seems like a project you two could do together.
Oh, Volan, would that entice you to be an artist like me?
Oh. We can try at some time, but
Oh, how lovely.
I think we should, while there's still light out, we should go try to run a few more of our errands. But, we'll be back, I believe. It's not tonight, but eventually we'll be back to sleep.
Oh yes. Would you like me to have supper ready?
Perhaps nothing that'll spoil. Just something that when we come. No, just no. That'll be fine. We'll fare for ourselves. Thank you, though.
Supper it is then. It'll be waiting here for you.
Okay.
It's great.
I'll whisper to my mother. I know it's expensive, but is there any chance of that? My friend was asking about black pudding. Really wanted to try it.
Ooh, black pudding. Yes. Well, that is quite an item. The nobles have it, but unfortunately, though I have been doing very well with my sales, I don't believe it's in our budget, my dear. We have to think of other items for cost. I apologize. Maybe we'll save for a little bit, and the next time you come home, and you can see she's excited at the prospect of you coming back home again. She says, well, maybe we can have enough saved to have some ready. So why don't you come back in, a couple of months?
How about this? We'll bring a news next time we come, and didn't Grandma have a recipe? Anyways, well, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. But yes, we'll be back before we leave the city. We'll come back.
Oh, lovely. Well, please be careful, and please let us know if you need anything. But I will be painting. And you see she just kind of like wistfully stands up, does like a little twirl, and just kind of like waltzes out and like skips as well. You see Roland's father just kind of stand up, curtly bow at all of you, look towards Roland, does like a little half nod, and then just follows your mother upstairs.
Nod back.
Mm-hmm.
That explains so much about you, Roland.
That's it.
Yeah.
No.
You don't feel it, Tarvik? Like, Roland.
It explains 0% of the Goatman thing.
Well, that Goatman, yeah. Well, she has a voice in her head. I think you should ask her about her voice in her head.
Doesn't everyone have a voice in their head?
No.
Roland.
Yeah, I think so.
What?
I mean,
Well,
I didn't used
no,
to, but now I do.
we met the voice in your head. It's the fairy.
And it's in my head.
Mm-hmm. Yes, but the average person, no, that is quite unusual. We say this as we're walking out the door. Like, we're not yelling this across the house.
Yeah.
Where would y'all like to go next? Do y'all want to go to Shield House to inquire about work, or no?
That might be like a good, because like we have to go from where we're at right now there to like all the way basically across the map. So if instead we just went down to like, would we go to Shield House or would we go to Shield Station? I don't know the difference between the two.
Roland, you would know the difference. Shield House is not only living quarters, but like the base operation for Shield. Though the actual Shield Station, you can think of it like a precinct, but like 5 times, 10 times bigger. Like that is the operational center is what I'm looking for. That's the operation center for like all the city guard in the city, outside of the city, like the standing army. That is the place for the operations to run out of. So if you're looking for like city facing things, that's where you would go to talk to someone. Shield House is guarded and only those who are granted access can actually even get inside.
Shield Station then. At the very least might find out some more about what we could do to help.
That would be a good thing.
Alright, so as you guys walk through the city, you see like little missing person signs posted, basically almost on every banister there is. And there's like multiple flyers that are posted up with descriptions of people that have been missing. And then you also see signs posted periodically that have the official city like language and post to it. That says to beware of increased ill activity as of late. Warnings, do not wander from city limits, and if you see something, say something.
Classic.
So you see those kind of throughout the streets. As you walk, tell me how you walk there. Show me on the map.
to the shield house? I guess we'd go past the cross hammer. Is that like a bridge? Or...
Yeah, these would be crossing points. And Roland, you would know that no one other than nobility or house folk are allowed to use these crossings here. So everyone else uses either this crossing, or this crossing.
Okay.
Just like doop.
Oh my god, I'm seeing so many boxes for the
I like how
calculation.
you're going different directions.
Yeah, I think you went to the. I went to the north side. I think you went to the south side. But we have the. Wait, it really doesn't. I guess.
I was trying to follow yours, but like only kind of. But yeah,
Okay,
that works.
I have the general sense. I just wanted to know if you guys were going in a certain direction. Okay, so as you guys go along this way, you start to see the nice area from here become more or less of a posh area around here, like super posh. You see a lot of guard walking around and posted here, and then you also see like off to the left that the area around here becomes a little less nice, and then here is more or less average as you get to around this area, just for like sake of kind of getting the vibe of how things are for the city. So you guys make your way to the shield station, and there is lots of activity here. You see lots of people going back and forth. You see like military uniform. You also see like city guard uniform. You see what appears to be criminals being like lugged in and out as well. And you see a few people just kind of like milling about talking with some of the city guard. And then they're just like having a regular conversation. But there's a lot of activity happening around here. As you go in, you go to the front desk. There appears to be a couple people in front of you, but as they get addressed, you get to the person who's sitting behind the desk and says, "Yes, what can I do for you?"
We would like to inquire about work, hunting down the creatures.
Yes,
that have been
see the sign next, and you see the person just kind of like point to the board, and there is a board that has, let's see, it has reward, and then it has the text, "Gold paid for every creature slayed with heads brought to the mill. Amount will be determined by creature," and then it lists out some creatures, and it says, "Unlisted creatures may be considered." I wish I could share this because it's part of something that I don't want to show you guys yet. So let me see if I can get to the original file, and then I can copy it in. But it just lists out creatures and then the price of gold.
Do you recall when we killed the Gloomer, did its like head disappear or anything? Did it like turn to ash or anything like that?
No, it stayed, and you guys
Head?
burned it.
We did.
We
It was
did.
evil. It's not like we're gonna go all the way back to Alderelk just to get ahead, though. Anderlark, yes.
Burn that one too. It's okay, we'll get another one. We'll make some gold off the next ones.
Yeah.
Right.
I guess Tarvik's carrying them.
What? I mean, unless do we need to talk to the people again? We can get back in line, I suppose.
You're still there, but they basically were like, "Okay, this one's done. Like, who's the next one?"
Yeah, that's the point. Like Tarvik's
Yeah.
confused. Like if we read the sign and we had more questions.
We're good. I don't think there's... Yeah. Any other questions?
I mean, it would be helpful to know like about the missing people and information.
All right, that's the text for the sign.
Like creatures. Like our word better.
I think your sign is incorrect. They're called Gloomers.
Not even addressed or not even recognized, like what you said. She's just busy trying to get this cue out.
Fair enough. I know what that's like. Okay. Maybe we should look for something that keeps heads from getting nasty.
Oh, I can do that.
Oh, you can? Nice.
I'll
gentle
have to
repose.
prepare it tomorrow,
Yeah.
but I can do that.
Oh, and
We also might.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say we also might look at getting like a sack to carry them in or something. I don't know.
For Roland, you are familiar with the mill, and that serves as a training ground for like everyone here that works in the military / guard. And it's also a place of basically like almost like an operation center, but more for the physical aspect of the job. So it holds a lot of like weaponry and stuff because it's, and I'm pointing in the map here, because it is right in the middle between these two main entrances. So the southwest is towards the Sword Coast, and the northwest would go towards Parabor. Because these are very big main entrances, having this place in the middle kind of serves as like a base point where they can easily put in more people should they need it at the gates, and also serve as like a weapons holding, additional weapons holding. So you know that as you know here. Training grounds and military stuff.
Cool.
I was hoping that they'd be more friendly to talk to us here, and we could find out where the temple to the Raven Queen was. Maybe if we went to, did you say you wanted to go to the shop, the weapons shop?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you guys wouldn't mind, I can go there myself if you guys want to go somewhere else.
Well, no, I think if we went there, maybe we could ask them where the temple was. I'm not sure who else to even ask, other than the library would know, but...
I don't know that the Raven Queen's a very popular deity based off of libraries that Ilaria's library and talking to Galana. So it may be some sort of hidden temple.
I feel like if we just knew where the main cemetery in the city was, we could at least check there.
Yeah. There's probably a few.
It's way outside the city.
Yes, Roland, you know that it is outside the city. Everything in the city is very congested with residences and businesses. There's no room for cemetery. It's outskirts.
Is there a cemetery by the holdfast, or is it somewhere else, or are they like scattered?
They're scattered.
Also, I have a question for you, DM. The wall, when they talk about the wall of the city, I assume the wall goes around the big chunk.
The big chunk, yes. Hello, can you hear me?
You know, this
Yes.
general area. So it does not it's not like, my bigger question was like, I know like there are richer parts of the city and there are poorer parts. Like, I don't know if like there's a line like somewhere like here where it's just like, oh, the wall stops right there.
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah, no, the wall is the entire border, that first highlight that you did. The districts, and you felt this, the districts more or less change just like by a street. There's no physical wall, but you know just by like atmosphere that it changes. And Rieta, I wanted to point this out for you. With Pick in your head, any social encounter, he's just like think of like a very mischievous, like 10-year-old boy just like commenting in your head, essentially. And like not socially like aware of some of the things that are happening, like very customary things, like consent, like had no idea what it was. So like kind of think of that in your head as like you're having that inner thought with Rieta, just like that dialogue he's constantly piping in here and there.
Okay.
What are you guys doing?
Is there anything you wanted in town? Or did we get it all at Pip's?
I'm good.
No? Where's the? Do we want to go to the library after Eged's? Library probably know where.
I'm not
Or have
100%
an
sure if I'm welcome at the library.
Can you disguise yourself?
What did you do at the library?
Oh, did you tell Tarvik this? I think
I
I
feel like
know.
you were. I feel like you were here when I told you all that I was accused of maybe starting a fire at the library.
Mhm.
I
Oh,
mean, it's been dropped. I didn't start the fire, and it's been dropped. But I don't know. I'm worried about running into some people that might like me. Nora should be there, and it would be very good to see her again.
I have a disguise kit. I could try and help you.
I don't want to disguise myself in my
Okay.
city, but thank you though. Let's go to the Blades place. Let's go to the weapons place, and then talk about maybe going outside the city to hunt some creatures.
Sounds like a good idea. Actually, what time is it right now? DM, like, is it like 1 or 2 at this point?
Yeah, it's like 2-ish.
Okay. So it's not like nightfall by any means. All right.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I'll let Roland lead the way, but we'll go to the Blades place, I guess.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. E gets blades. Cool. Let me just get to my notes real quick. That's Hellhound's Village. Cool. You see that the normal environment kind of pervades in this area. From. Oh, actually, no. Straight up, hold up. Okay. So, Palace Farthing, this district that you're in, was still very nice. It's an upper class area, so even nicer than Hydra's district, which was upper middle class. So this was like a step up in this area. So very clean, very posh. And then as you go towards the district for Hellhound's Village, you see that it kind of gets normal to be like a middle class area. And going to Eged's Blades, you see like this, it doesn't look that nice outside. It kind of has like a little dingy vibe around it. But you see there is a shrine. Someone make a religion check for me. It can be anyone. Actually, all of you make a religion check for me.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think everyone's unskilled at this one, right?
Oh wow, a lot of good ones. And interesting enough, Tarvik is the one who has the low one.
Yeah.
So you guys, all of you except for Tarvik, recognize that this is a shrine for Inus or Inus. I'm not exactly sure how you pronounce it. I-N-U-S, the Lord of War. And you see that this workshop is kind of like built around this shrine, the shrine being right next to it. You see that the door is open and you look into a very cluttered weaponsmith's workshop. You see like bits of char and dirt kind of all over the place. Lots of equipment kind of strewn about on these tables, on the floor. You see like multiple chairs. And like tables that have a bunch of items on it. Just very, very cluttered. You see a gentleman in the back working, and you hear like the little dings of his work.
Hello.
You say hello, and it appears that he can't hear you.
Who had the thing that made their voice really loud?
Do I? I do.
I don't know.
I do. I will say, Tarvik will say, hello, using thaumaturgy to make his voice loud.
Super loud. Okay. You see, he kind of like drops his hammer that he was using. He kind of looks up. Oh, righty then. I apologize. Oh, I must have been in my work completely. I call it the zone. Please come in. You can see he's very disheveled himself, very much like his cluttered workshop. You see kind of like spirally black hair. He has like a beard around his face. He appears to be like somewhere in his mid-years, a little bit of gray poking out here and there. His hair kind of wily as well. A very fit and strong man. Just a human man, you see. He kind of like dusts himself, his apron, when he approaches you guys. Mid-height-ish, like average height. And he says, hello, hello. Oh, well, what can I do for you?
We are looking for weapons, and we were sent here.
Oh, by who?
Pip suggested you.
Oh, wonderful. Well, what can I do for you? And he just kind of clasps his hands.
I guess, what do you have? Do you have anything interesting?
Big ol' axes.
Big old axes I have. And he kind of like moves around some of the clutter. He says, oh, excuse me. And he adjusts himself and he presents kind of like moving away some of the items. You see a bunch of axes. And as you look through the clutter, you see there are just like a bunch of tools on top of a lot of weapons. So you see a bunch of swords, short, long. You see bows as well. You see like scimitars. You see like a manner of all kinds of weapons. Almost everything that you can imagine, as well as axes and such. As he shows you the axes first and foremost, as they were mentioned.
Any of these magical?
Sorry, afraid not. But if you buy a weapon off me, I'm sure you can have it enchanted.
True.
Well, I have one. I just gesture to the axe wherever it is on me. I don't know if it's on my back or not at this point. But thank you. I appreciate it. It looked very nice.
Well, thank you very much. I do a lot of work on these. Anything else for you folk over here? Kind of points to the rest of you.
Let me look at what I'm good with ranged wise. Give me a second. Just simple. Okay. I take it you don't have a better short bow than this one, and it's just like a normal short bow.
He kind of takes a look at, well, yours is a little dinged up. What about these? And you can see they're nothing special, like no +1 or anything, but they look a little bit better.
What about a light crossbow?
He has one for you, yes.
Okay. I will trade in this short bow for a light crossbow and some bolts.
Alright, whatever the PHB is, you can do that calculation. Okay. It's just gonna be standard price.
Alright, and how much would he buy my short bow for?
Let's say 5 gold off of whatever it is in the PHB.
Okay, great. Alright, so... And then I'm just looking up bolts. But yeah, I'll just do that on my end if you guys want to keep moving.
Next up.
I guess we go to the holdfast and we see if the reaction rolling.
Yeah, sure. I don't. Thank you, weaponsmith. I don't know how to use these things, and I'll walk out.
Oh, hang on.
He just kind of nods, takes a once over, understands, and just nods.
Oh, real quick. We were looking for the temple to the Raven Queen. Do you happen to know where that is?
So sorry, I deal with weapons.
Gotcha. And I'll leave.
Okay. All right, so you guys go to the Holdfast. I am gonna say this will be actually the end of tonight's session, just because